How are you doing today?
I'm good, how are you? My name is Charlie, and I'm here to do an interview about cosplay and costume design. My father and I bonded over Star Trek when I was a child, and I learned what Star Trek conventions were, and people dressed up in the uniforms and they went to the conventions. It fascinated me. My dad had always built Halloween costumes for us growing up and for himself, so it's always been kind of a creative spark in my family. So I just started building costumes to go to these conventions, and as of this year, it will be my 25th year cosplaying. I go to cosplay conventions on a regular basis, I would say. I go to maybe 2 or 3 large ones, maybe. I do a lot of smaller gatherings throughout the year that are less expensive, or sometimes they're free. It's just as a matter of just being social, getting out there in my costume and geeking out with my friends. What is my favorite character to cosplay as? That is very mean to ask. I would have to say probably the Winter Soldier from Marvel, Bucky Barnes. He's definitely one of my favorites. Captain America is my favorite Marvel character, period. My current hyperfixation is the build I'm building right now, which is from Our Flag Means Death, and that's Steed Bonnet. Cosplay has benefited me personally in a lot of ways, actually. My degree is actually in costume tech. I don't get to utilize it professionally, but I do get to utilize it in my personal life. I've met wonderful people through the art. My social circle is wonderful. I have learned a lot about just textile arts in general is something I am passionate about. It's just personal enrichment, really. It's just something I really enjoy. It's a stress reliever. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the first one over here, which is my Captain America Renaissance dress. So I go to the Ren Fair. I'm a season pass holder at Scarborough Fair. When I was there 2 years ago, I was in a booth that one of my friends is manager of. It's called Pendragon Costumes. And I look up and there's this bodice hanging up on the wall. And I am a huge Captain America fan. I have a massive collection. It is embarrassing, except that I'm not embarrassed by it. And it's got his symbolism, his symbols on it, on the shoulders as well. And I took this and I made up a design that was inspired by this and his uniform to wear at the Ren Fair. The overskirt here, it splits. So Steve Rogers is Irish American. I added the trim to this. I made sure it was Celtic. I have this sash. So it just kind of hangs out there. I was trying to figure out how to incorporate the shield into the design. So a friend of mine said, why don't you use a parasol? Because out at fair when it's hot and sunny, a parasol is perfect to have. So I thought that was a brilliant idea. So I made a parasol to like the shield. I hand painted this whole thing freehand. It's a silver paper umbrella, and then the red and the blue is all hand painted. I'm going to talk a little bit about Crowley from Good Omens now. I didn't do the design for Crowley as far as like an overall design, because that belongs to the Good Omens costume designers. But I still had to put like work into what pattern was I going to use, how I was going to tailor it, what did they use on set, so I could emulate it or just get the same thing that they have. I really like screen accurate cosplay. It's not the only way to cosplay, it's just how I like to do it. And so the jacket, I literally just got lucky at a thrift store. I needed one real quick, and then I added the stitching on the lapels myself to be more like his. I did make this from scratch. This is a leather vest. In the second season, he does wear a leather vest instead of what he wears in the first one, which is just like a wool one. So this is garment grade cowhide, and cotton sateen, and I made it in a weekend. It literally took me like a day and a half. From scratch, and it's something I'm very proud of. I think it looks nice. I have snakeskin boots here. I painted the red along the bottom with leather paint. The wig here was originally a brown wig, if you can believe that. This used to be like a caramel color brown, and I took Copic markers in like 4 different shades and colored it individually. It took me days. Colored it, styled it. That's how I made this wig, yeah.
Do you have any advice or tips that you would like to give to people who may be trying to get into cosplay or costume design?
Yes, don't be discouraged. Everyone has to start somewhere. I run into this all the time. People who are just getting into cosplay and they don't know how to sew yet, or they're just learning how to sew, or they don't know how to do wigs. And they'll look at me, who has, 25 years of experience, or they'll look at other cosplayers who have a lot of experience, who are just wonderful at the art, and it's not fair. Do not compare yourself to somebody who has been doing this for so long. Anyone can do what I do with time and practice. Just keep trying. You're gonna make mistakes. It's okay. Sometimes, even if you don't make the whole costume, it's more about the why, not necessarily how you're doing it. You find wonderful people who are willing to help you, who are going to coach you through it, cheer you through it for the rest of the way. Just don't give up.